Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Forgive me, the bottom of my mouth is still numb from the Novocaine, from the deep cleaning this morning, and so it's feeling kind of funny, and I'm hoping I don't bite my tongue because you can't feel it when you've had that kind of stuff done. So anyway. It is Thirsty Thursday. Cowboys, of course, have only a couple practices left before they take on the Texans for their final preseason game on Sunday. We'll be live streaming that game as well as following the Eagles, the Washington football team, and the Giants because, let's face it, we got to face those teams 2 times each, and it's in our best interest to know everything we can about those teams. And speaking about knowing about those teams, the Giants have been practiced against New England, and thus far, New England seems to be the team to beat. It's kind of interesting to me in my mind. Bill Belichick is a master at building and keeping a team good. I said last year, when you started seeing all the players that took off from New England for COVID, understand, I almost believe a lot of that was by design. Bill Belichick thinks about down the road. I think he looked at it as this whole season may not be played. What better thing to do then is to set myself up for the future, right? Take a redshirt season. Let your key players, and I think it was 9 of them that took the COVID out, let them rest for an extra year. Let their bodies heal, get ready to play again down the road. That gave him a lot of cap relief. And you saw how much work they did in free agency. They got higher draft picks, in which case they drafted a quarterback. They ended up with an easier schedule, and now they're back. Damn, all these calls interrupting what I'm doing. Okay, so they actually have an easier schedule, higher draft picks, got cap room, and got free agents. You watch. New England will win the East this year. You watch. And unfortunately, we're paying them because they were originally the 3rd place team in the division. But I'll tell you, that's not going to be an easy out. But anyway, the thing that's kind of on everybody's mind is Jalen Smith. There's nobody more polarizing than Jalen Smith. Let's face it, Jalen Smith, because he signed that extension in 2019, because he's got that $9.8 million contract, and because his play has declined, everybody's trade him, get rid of him, cut him. Well, that sounds good. And this is where fantasy football kind of messes things up for people, because you always think that you have a guy on your roster in fantasy football who's not performing, and you can just trade him real easy and get somebody else, and automatically those statistics work. Well, the problem is, and maybe this is partially to blame because of the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys were actually at a crossroads on the 21st of March. If they had cut him then, they could have actually saved some money and been done with it. But because they did not do that before March 21st, his contract became fully guaranteed. His $7.2 million number plus the bonuses, which come out to 9.8. It's actually sad watching, when you watch Hard Knocks, when you were looking at the linebackers room in there, and you're seeing, the coaches talking with Micah Parsons and everything else, and you just kind of see Jalen Smith just kind of sitting there. It's like, he's like the forgotten guy. He's there. You have to keep him. He's part of the team, but it's just like, it's not good. It's sad because you love the story of him redeeming himself from that injury against all odds, where people basically said he'll never play again, to be able to get out on the field. And in that first year where you could tell that the drop foot was literally, he was playing on one leg. And then that following year when he came out and all of a sudden was playing like gangbusters and ended up earning that contract, when you heard that Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith, the best young linebacker duo, to now see him as a liability, it's just hard. It's sad. And you feel for the guy. We have to understand that these guys are people too, and they do have feelings. But in football, it's F your feelings. It's really about who can play and do the job that they need done. And right now, Jalen Smith, we look at the numbers, Keanu O'Neal and Micah Parsons, they're getting like 40 snaps a game. 40 snaps in preseason. You look at where Jalen Smith is, it's like 23, like half of the snaps. He's been kind of kicked back down. We heard he might play special teams, but we've seen him trying to cover backs out of the field. How's Jalen Smith going to be able to cover somebody on kickoff coverage if he can't cover the backs out of the field? So that could be a liability. Now here's the thing. Like I said, if you cut him, you're still paying him. Problem is, you cut him, you've got to get somebody to replace him without any more money to replace him. So that's problem number one. Other people say trade him. Well, you have to have somebody who wants to trade for him. And ultimately, you could trade him. And trading him, if you have somebody who's willing to trade for it, you'll probably end up having to pay to his contract to trade him. The only benefit would be long-term because you'll still pay this year's cap hit, but you would save money down the road. So you get rid of all of that money now. And, that might be the wise thing. But again, if you are a team and you're looking at Jalen Smith versus his production right now, what are you trying to give up for Jalen Smith? Unless you figure what, we can fix him. We can put him on the bench. We got, a super shot for him that'll make his foot be able to work better or get his speed back. But other than that, really the die is cast. Jalen Smith is not going to go anywhere this year. Jalen Smith, his time will probably be as a backup, and I don't see Jalen Smith as a guy who's going to create a lot of negativity or problems with the team and things. But to just say cut him, it's not going to happen. You can't go from the Cowboys NFL Man of the Year, the guy who was the leading tackler, to now saying we're just going to cut you even though we're not saving a dime. It won't happen. So that's where we are with the situation with Jalen Smith. And, I feel for the guy. I wanted Jalen Smith to be that lights out, linebacker that we end up looking at, the Predator. I wanted to see him playing lights out, not knocking people out. But unfortunately, it's just not there anymore. And the Cowboys will have to just kind of find another way. So that being said, I'm going to go spend some time with my daughter here while I'm recovering from the Novocaine here. Oh, I hate going to the dentist. It hurts when you go in and get the work done, and it hurts when you get the bill. It just hurts. Whew. Have a great Thursday, and I will see you later with any news on the Cowboys. Peace out.